Okay, it's 9:49 a.m. I had a trade here with GNUS. I honestly didn't think this one was gonna really work. It was just not really, I think, the best setup, but I remember this for a long time ago. If I look very far back, yeah, I remember this run up it did when I first started to get back into trading around March of 2020, and this one had a very nice move. I forgot why. I think it had some kind of a contract with I don't know, some kind of TV show production. That or some kind of COVID stock. I forgot which one it was. I think it was the first one. And it had a sell off. It has news. I don't know what happened to the news. It just sold off. And it looked like a morning panic bounce play. It had a trend line. And there was a point when it broke above it. And then the easy risk level is the day low. And that's why I went long. This was what, 60 shares at 944. Right here I got in at 338, and I did a thing where you don't really know if the setup's gonna work or not, but you take it anyway because it looks like something you've seen work many times before, and that's why I got in it. Broke the trend line, nice easy risk level, and I did sell. My first sell was 946, which was right here. Once we saw a bit more volume in, I sold 15 shares at 342 just because of the fact that there is that potential where it might just uptrend a little and it has all this volume, and because it has all this volume and it just uptrends a little, there are just too many sellers that are not going to let it bounce. So then I sell a piece. So if it does like a little spike and then it breaks the day low eventually, at least I sold some there, and my loss won't be that big, or maybe it'll be more of a scratch. And then I did sell once it was starting to work at 947. I sold 10 at 351. And then the next minute I sold just 5 at 356 right here. And then I sold my remaining the same minute at 356.56. And it just seemed like it made a move towards VWAP, which was this 360-ish level. But it didn't look like it was going to uptrend some more, but it might do it now. It just didn't look like it was going to do it right when I was in the setup. And very hard to have held on to this setup, at least personally for me, because you see I have this trend line right here, but this is not like a very sharp and aggressive trend line. This is like a very gradual trend line. So I could have done something where I could have sold the majority of my position and maybe just kept like just 10 or 15 shares, just a quarter of my position, my original position, and just hold on to it and then sell if it breaks this trend line, so that I give it more time to develop. And if it tries to make a move towards VWAP or break above it, which it very well could here, then it would be something where I could be more profitable if it does work. And then if it doesn't, at least I gave it a chance. And I wouldn't be happy if it breaks under this 350 level, but I'll make an update later as to what this one does. I missed out on this one. I was looking at other stocks, and this is up on its second day, actually, not its first day. It broke the day high range, and then it immediately became a halted stock, so that's always cool. It is a goal for me to be in a halt profitably. And this one I was looking at because it's just sold off massively, and it has like this gap up, which isn't too ideal, and it's selling off, or at least from the gap, so it's not necessarily that nice looking. No interest there, no interest here. I'll keep looking at GNUS just to see whether or not it gets to VWAP or not, and I'll make an update later. It is 11:32 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. Overall, I'm going to be up on a day $8 47 cents, trading one trade. Yeah, it was GNUS, and this was a morning panic bounce play. As for what it did make a move towards this level, and then after actually a higher low, as you can see right here, it did make a move towards VWAP, and it got above it. So this was actually pretty profitable. I mean, best case scenario, sell at 385 would have been super profitable. It would have been a 14% gain. So yeah, pretty nice. With more work, I can be able to be a part of stuff like that where I can still hold on to a position, and then I can have that risk the day low in this case. And ideally at downtrends it makes a higher low, and then it gets to VWAP like it did right here. That was pretty much it for this setup. I think there was nothing else here that I was interested in. I didn't look at the stocks too much after this trade because I actually had a lot of errands to do. a lot of work to do, but just to quickly go over them. This one sold off the gap up, so this one is not really nice. And this one, I think there was a setup with one of these that I was interested in and I missed out. Let me just see if it was VLON first. One of them did like an inverse head and shoulders. Yeah, this was it. I was actually looking at this and it frustrated me because it did work out and I didn't trade it because I wasn't really on the computer all that much. But you can see something where it broke this downtrending trend line for the most part, maybe something like this, right? And then with that in mind, an inverse head and shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder. This one made a move from maybe 97 as high as 108 with a break past VWAP. And it even did a bit of a higher low off of this level. And it touched VWAP, so super solid, super predictable. I was looking at it, I just didn't trade it. And you know, it actually really worked out too, so that kind of sucks, but at least I was on the right track. Very scary candle right after this uptrend right here. I do have to admit that, and that was pretty much it. It was a stock that I saw a potential setup with, and I didn't trade that one. XPON, it's just kind of weird. It is working, but I don't like how it had like these previous 2 days and it just made a wick and sold off. And now it's trying to do something longer than a day. So I guess it's going to be squeezing a lot of shorts. I'll keep looking at it. Nothing interesting with this one. And this one had too much of a spread. But it did uptrend. And this is OTC. Not too happy with the way this one trades. So I never messed with it. Especially now because I'm not really looking at OTCs that much anymore. That's it for today. Just that one trade and that potential trade with VLON, including the dip on VWAP or even the higher low. So those two setups together at the same time.